Hello students, in our previous video we were discussing about the rate of a chemical reaction in terms of reactant as well as in terms of product. Here we define two types of rate for any chemical reaction. In that first one is instantaneous rate and second one is average rate of a reaction. So what is the instantaneous and average rate of a chemical reaction? You consider any reaction in which reactant forms product P. Okay, initially at time t equal to 0, second, the concentration of the reactant is maximum. Usually we take it as R0. Okay, we take it as R0, and as time passes, okay, when you start the reaction, t becomes 1 second, 2 second, or you can measure it in terms of milliseconds also. Slowly the concentration of reactant decreases and the concentration of product increases. Okay, that's why while writing the rate of a reaction in terms of reactant, okay, we put minus sign for reactant and plus sign for product. Minus indicates what? The concentration of reactant decreases, and plus indicates concentration of product increases. Okay, now let us see what is this instantaneous rate. So instantaneous rate means at any particular time. For example, for the same reaction, if you want to calculate the rate at 10th second, okay, now it becomes instantaneous rate at that particular instant of time. Or if you want to measure the rate of the reaction at 1 millisecond or at 10th minute or at 20th minute, so that is instantaneous. So average means it's the rate of reaction between two time interval. For example, from 0 second to 10 second, or 0 to 1 minute, 0 to 10 minutes, 0 to 20 minutes, or 1 to 10 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. So between, if you measure or calculate the rate of a reaction between the two time intervals, if you measure the rate between two time intervals, now it becomes average rate. Average andre gottide nimge. Instantaneous on the particular time interval alli measure ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Okay, here I have written two graphs. The first one is for the reactant. Here I'll write the rate of the reaction in terms of what? Reactant concentration with respect to time. When you look into this, here along y-axis I have taken the concentration of reactant, along x-axis I have taken time. Okay, you can take it in seconds or in minutes, but in SI system of units we take it as seconds only. Now at time t equal to 0, at this origin, at time t equal to 0, the concentration of the reactant is maximum. Here we take it as R0. Okay, this is the subscript which is written outside the square bracket. Don't write it inside the square bracket. Don't write like this, R0. Okay, you write like this only. So at this time t equal to 0, that means before the start of the reaction, only the reactant is present and its concentration is maximum. As time proceeds, okay, as time passes, concentration of reactant slowly decreases, and at one particular time it becomes 0 for equilibrium reaction. You know, equilibrium reaction, it remains constant. Now look into this graph. Here I have taken two time intervals, two different time intervals. Along x-axis I have taken time at any time. For example, if this is time t1, so at this time t1, the concentration is equal to R1. The concentration corresponding to this time T1 is how much? It is equal to R1. You can calculate it. Nimge gottide graph alli calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So this R1 corresponds to time T1. At another time interval T2, concentration corresponds to TR2. This is the concentration. Now, so this much difference is in the concentration of what? Reactant when time passes. When between T1 and T2, this is the difference. Okay, now how do you calculate the rate of the reaction? Rate is nothing but rate of disappearance of reactant with respect to time. So how do you write it? R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. So here you take this as delta T and this as delta R. This difference. So why I have written minus? Because concentration of reactant decreases. Look into this, R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. You can take any time interval. Nimge allu beda andre illi takolbodu. You can take T2 here. You can take 2 here. When you take T2 here, this is the temperature concentration corresponds to that time interval. Okay, so now this is the difference. At any point of the graph, you can take two different time intervals. Understood? Yes. The second one is about instantaneous rate. For this purpose, you take time at any point of the x-axis. You can take any point. For example, I have taken here t. Now, the concentration corresponding to this, you can call it as r. At this point, concentration is r. Now, you draw a tangent to this curve at this point r, corresponding to the time interval t. So, after drawing the tangent, you draw a slope for this. Okay, you calculate the slope. Slope is nothing but dy by dx, that is dr by dt, d of r divided by dt. So this is your instantaneous rate. Instantaneous rate is here nothing but the slope of the tangent. Understood? Yes, in mathematics you have studied this. So this is the what representation of rate of reaction in terms of reactant. Next, coming to the product. So this is the graph corresponding to the product, the same product P here. At time t equal to 0, the concentration of product is 0. As time passes, what happens? Concentration of product slowly increases. At one particular time, it becomes constant. You follow the same rules that you have followed in the previous graph. What you take two different time intervals. Here. Concentration corresponding to time interval t1, you take it as p1, not r1, because it is product. Next, concentration corresponding to time t2 is p2. Now, delta p by delta t, here you can take it as plus, because concentration of product increases with respect to time. Delta p, so this is delta p, or delta p is this one. You can calculate this. You have the points or scales in your graph. You know that 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that you are taking. So you can calculate the difference. Gottide graph alege calculate ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So now this is known as delta t. So differential equation, the rate dx by dt. So now delta p divided by delta t. What is delta p? p2 minus p1 divided by t2 minus t1. Next, here for instantaneous rate with respect to product, it's the same thing. You take a particular time interval. At any time interval we can take. At this point, the concentration is p, and now you draw a tangent here, and next you calculate the slope of the tangent. So next, this is dp. Okay, dp by dt. Not r, this is in terms of product you have to write, but here we are writing it as plus. Why it is plus? Because concentration increases. Concentration of what? Product increases. This is what? Instantaneous rate of a reaction. So next, after this, what is the unit of this rate of the reaction? How do you write the unit of this reaction or a rate of a reaction? So it's very simple. You know the formula. Rate is nothing but what? Change in molar concentration with respect to time. Change in molar concentration divided by time. What's the unit of molar concentration? Unit of molar concentration is mole per liter. So in the numerator we have mole per liter. What's the SI unit of time? SI unit of time is second. So now unit becomes mole per liter per second. In most of the reactions we are taking aqueous solutions. So no problem, we can take mole per liter per second as your unit. But if you are dealing with gaseous reactant and product, in that case you cannot use the term mole per liter. So here we measure the pressure of both reactant and product. So in your numerator you have atmosphere or you have pascals. Now in SI system you write the unit in terms of atmosphere, and your unit is atmosphere per second. Okay, this is very important for 1 mark. You remember this. Next, let us see how to write the rate of a reaction. Let us discuss one by one. That first reaction I have written, the preparation of HgCl2, mercury chloride. In this reaction, liquid mercury is treated with gaseous chlorine. Here, once you look into the stoichiometric ratios, it's 1:1:1, everything. 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole. So for this type of reaction, how to write the rate? So rate is nothing but the rate of disappearance of reactant and rate of what? Appearance of product. Always rate of the disappearance of reactant is equal to the rate of formation or appearance of product. You remember this. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, if the rate of disappearance of reactant is 2 mole per liter per second, rate of appearance of product is also equal to 2 mole per liter per second. Understood? So this is very important. You need to remember this. Now I'll write the rate of this reaction. Rate is nothing but a change in molar concentration of mercury, that is minus delta Hg divided by delta T. This is the rate. Why it is minus? Because the concentration of reactant decreases. So here we have equal number of moles of Hg and Cl2. Now rate of disappearance of mercury is equal to rate of disappearance of chlorine. This is how you are writing, which is equal to the rate of appearance of product HgCl2. Since they are in equal numbers, you can write like this. So that is rate of disappearance of mercury is equal to rate of the appearance of mercury chloride. Similarly, rate of disappearance of chlorine is equal to rate of appearance or formation of mercury chloride. So these two rates are equal, which are equal to this. This is important, remember. The second reaction to dissociation of what? Hydrogen iodide. How it dissociates? 2 moles of hydrogen iodide dissociates into a mole of H2 and I2. In the reactant side, we have 2 moles of what? Hi, that is hydrogen iodide. In the reactant product side, we have only 1 moles of H2 and I2. Now rate of disappearance of Hi is twice the rate of formation of H2 and I2. Here 2 moles. So if it is, you can write 2 moles per liter per second. Now it becomes 1 mole per liter per second and 1 mole per liter per second. Just an example. So now rate of a reaction is equal to, so how do you write it? Since it has a coefficient that's equal to 2, you cannot write like this. 2 into delta Hi divided by delta T. Why? Because this is not equal to the rate of formation of these two. Okay, rate of disappearance of Hi is not equal to the rate of formation of H2 because it has only 1 mole. Here also it has 1 mole. So that's why we have to make the rates equal. So that's why you divide this by 2 in order to make them equal. Now when you divide this by 2, so it becomes 1 mole. So at this side becomes 1 mole. So that's why we have to write, if you have any coefficient, in the reaction, try to remember, so you divide the rate by that coefficient. If it is x, you divide this rate by x. If it is y, you divide this by y. That's all. This is important. So it's minus half into delta Hi by delta T. Rate of disappearance of hydrogen iodide is equal to the rate of appearance of H2 and I2. Okay, one more example. So this is important. They will ask it for 1 mark. 5 moles of bromide ion reacts with BrO3 minus aqueous and 6H plus. Here the coefficients are 5. This is 1, 6, 3, 3. What we have to do? First you write the rate for this Br minus bromide. How? Delta Br minus by delta T. Now you divide this rate by 5. 5 delta T. So this has 1. So 1 delta T. Here it is 6. 6 delta T. So 3 delta T. This is 3 delta T. You divide the rate by the coefficient of that particular reactant or product. This is very simple. Understood? Yes. They may ask you to write these rates for different kinds of reactions for 1 mark. One thing you remember, if reaction has no coefficient, straight away you write the reaction and rate. If any reaction has coefficient, first you write the rate, then you divide the rate by the coefficient of that particular reactant or product. Understood? Yes. Next, coming to some problems or numericals. That first one, for the reaction R2P, the concentration of reactant changes from 0.03 mole molar to 0.02 molar, that is mole per liter, in 25 minutes. Calculate the average rate of a reaction using units of time in minutes and seconds. The reaction is very simple, R to P. How do you write the rate? Rate is equal to minus delta R by delta T, change in molar concentration of reactant with respect to time. So which is equal to R2 minus R1, final concentration minus initial concentration divided by T2 minus T1, final time minus initial time. Now the concentration is equal to 0.02 final concentration minus 0.03 initial concentration divided by 25 minus 0. What is T1? T1 is not given, means at the beginning we have to take, that is at 0 second. So 25 minus 0, you simplify this, 0.01 divided by 25. So answer is 0.004 or 4 into 10 to the power of minus mole per liter per minute. So this is your answer. Next, you have to calculate it in seconds also. 25 minutes means how many seconds? You convert it, you divide it by what? The time in seconds, you will get the answer. This is important, okay? Try to remember. So there are many type of numericals. I will solve it in our next class or next video. Next, what are the factors affecting the rate of these reactions? There are two factors. That first one I will discuss, concentration. So concentration affect the rate of reaction. How? So effect of concentration is defined in terms of rate law or rate expression. This is very, very, very important. For most of the reactions, the major thing which decides the rate of the reaction is concentration. Now I have taken one reaction in which A moles of A reacts with B moles of B and it produces C moles of C and D moles of D. Now the rate of any chemical reaction is directly proportional to the molar concentration of reactant present in the reaction mixture. Okay, but mathematically you can say that rate is directly proportional to the molar concentration of reactant, but in the reaction mixture some other factors also affect. So what is that? That is the power of these concentration terms. See, rate, if I write rate is directly proportional to A into B. So you can write like this, rate of any chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactant. In first PU, you have studied about a law of mass action. Rate of a reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactants. But for some reactions, so this definition is not sufficient. We need to raise these concentration terms into some powers. Okay, so unknown powers, we write it as X and Y here. So these are not equal to these stoichiometric coefficients. Sometime X may be equal to A and Y may be equal to B, but not always. X and Y are the two terms which are experimentally determined. So rate of any chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactant in which each concentration term is raised to the power of some numbers. That numbers may or may not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient of the reaction. Understood? Now, so in order to remove this, we have to put a constant. Rate is equal to K into A to the power X into B to the power Y. What is this K? K is known as rate constant. K is known as rate constant. Now, I can write this rate as minus dr by dt is equal to, same, you know that, how to write, is equal to K into A to the power X into B to the power Y. So in order to determine X and Y, we have to perform some experiments. Understood? By changing the concentration of A and B, by fixing the concentration of any one of the reactant, you can determine the value of X. Okay, about this we can discuss in our next class. So rate law is the expression which relates the concentration to rate of a reaction. So what is this rate and rate constant? Rate and rate constants are related to each other when, if the molar concentration of A and B is equal to 1, if it is unity, then rate is equal to rate constant. Okay, rate is equal to rate constant. This is very important. They will ask it for 1 mark. When rate of the reaction becomes equal to rate constant K, when when the concentration of reactants are taken as unity or 1, they become equal. Rate becomes equal to rate constant. At that time, unit of rate and rate constant becomes equal. Okay. Next, we have to discuss about rate law and how to determine these x and y. Okay, we shall discuss in our next class. Thank you.